But are they too corrupt to fail? Are they too tied in? Too many accomplices? Why do the Clintons seem so invincible? The man who wrote the definitive book on the Clinton crime family and their war on women, Roger Stone, former campaign head of Trump's campaign, his business partner is the head of the campaign. And, of course, he's separate from the campaign, so he can operate freely, but he always gives us the key next level info before it happens. So stonezone.com. Roger, thank you for joining us today.
Alex, delighted to be with you as always. It's an extraordinary day. I must tell you, 9 presidential campaigns, 40 years in American politics. I've never seen anything like this. We are obviously no longer a nation of laws. Now we're a nation of men. Although the FBI director had this great reputation as a by-the-book law and order guy, obviously that is not the case. He said Hillary was careless. Judge Napolitano's made it clear in his analysis over and over again that criminal negligence here was more than sufficient for an indictment. Negligence, carelessness, I believe they're the same thing. So it boggles the mind that she's getting a pass, but I don't think she's going to get a pass from the voters.
Why do you think Comey didn't go after her? I mean, she got caught lying about it. She got caught cutting the tops off. She got caught manipulating. Foreign governments were inside the servers. This is espionage. Clearly, she was using it as a drop box to sell data and then claim she had plausible deniability. It's very clear. I've talked to a lot of experts. They concur. But why is she too big to fail with the establishment?
I guess the global elites cover for each other. I think that's what's going on here. And unfortunately, it turns out our FBI director is one of the global elites. I mean, what kind of a signal does this send to everyone else who's in government? What kind of a signal does this send to every American citizen? Basically, it says violate any law you want, but if you're big enough, if you're influential enough, if you have enough money and you're well connected in the media, the law literally does not apply for you. I think Donald Trump now has an opening to take the wood to Hillary. And I'd also say, Alex, the premium now is on selecting a running mate, a vice presidential running mate who is an attack dog, someone who can take the case right to Bill and Hillary and expose not only the ins and outs of the email scandal, but all of their scandals.
How about you for vice president? You're a good attack dog.
Nobody, I could never pass the background check. I have too colorful a lifestyle. Now, we need somebody who has government experience, but someone who's a nationalist, someone who believes, as Trump does, that it's time to seal our borders, that it's time to repeal these ridiculous globalist trade deals that are destroying our job climate in this country, someone who will get our fiscal house in order, stop the bailouts for the crooks on Wall Street and generate jobs for the working people of America.
Sure, clearly.
Got some excellent choices out there, and he's playing it very close to the vest. I don't know who he's going to pick, but I do know it will be a patriot. I do know it will be a nationalist. I know it will be somebody who adheres to the Trump agenda.
Is Sessions still up at the top of the list?
Well, I think he is still under consideration. I think Jeff Sessions is a good man, and I think I've said on your show that he'd be my personal choice. But I think the Donald is casting a very wide net. He wants to find the very best person. But now there's a premium on someone who can really take the attack to the Clintons, because we know Donald Trump is not shy. Notice last week he said, folks, the system's rigged. It's completely rigged. So he foreshadowed what was going to happen here. I think that this is a blow to the Clintons. They may be celebrating the fact that she isn't going to go to prison, at least not for this, but this is a heavy burden to carry into a general election.
Well, I mean, it is paradoxical that she's this evil, corrupt witch with this horrible background on record and all these crimes, and it's flagrantly obvious that she's being protected. It seems the mission is somehow reach out to her constituents. But if you watch the interviews we do in Austin or in California or other places with Democrat voters, on average, these, unfortunately, are frighteningly ignorant people. I mean, they don't even know what the July 4th is. They don't even know what the 3 branches of government are. They just know, hey, there's some woman, and I feel powerful if I cast my vote for a woman in some type of groupthink. How do you reach people that I don't think are as informed or awake as Helen Keller when she was a child? She had such a great human spirit, she could actually be reached out to, even though she was, blind and deaf. I mean, how do you get through to a zombie? I don't understand it.
Well, the good news is I don't think Hillary supporters are monolithic. I think the ripest target are a third of the Bernie Sanders supporters who oppose these globalist trade deals, who oppose the Iraq War, who oppose the two-party duopoly that has brought this country to the brink of disaster.
Well, exactly. How could a thinking person vote for Hillary?
Well, I don't think the people who are voting for her are thinking people. That you've made that point. I think they're zombies. But the question is, I think we have more supporters at the end of the day than they do.
Roger, I've been asking the questions here. I mean, I think Donald Trump's just getting better and better, hitting her so hardcore. But what he's saying is all true. When you talk about taking the wood to Hillary, how does Donald? I mean, we know he's his own man, but if you're advising him, how do you take the wood to Hillary? How do you really take the gloves off and put brass knuckles on?
Well, the best news, of course, is we're going to have multiple debates, and there is no better place for a confrontation with the Wicked Witch of the West than in those debates. Trump is a brawler. Therefore, nothing is off limits here, whether it is the Clintons' epic abuse of women, because Bill is a sexual predator and Hillary has played the role of covering up his crimes by bullying and intimidating and threatening his victims, or whether it is the epic corruption of the Clinton Foundation, or whether it is the fact that Bill sold this country's security out. I have a long piece on InfoWars today, an exclusive piece. When we can talk about that another day, because I think the news here trumps everything. But the Clintons are guilty of treason. I mean, they have literally traded the technology regarding the targeting of our missile system.
Well, this is what it's all about, actually. Let's skip this network break and let's talk about the article that's, I'm going to have moved to the top of Infowars.com and retweeted it at Real Alex Jones and on Facebook. Everybody, just because you're patriots, libertarians, conservatives, veterans, you know about the 90s and the missile secrets, the MIRV technology, the boost systems, the targeting systems, the whole 9 yards to have our ICBMs, the best in the world, given to the Chi-Coms, totally insane. Just to show how brazen and crazy the Clintons are, we need to get this article out because the general public doesn't remember this or doesn't know about it. So let's talk about the treason of the Clintons. Let's get into your article. Part 1 is the Russians. Part 2 is the Chinese.
Well, it's really extraordinary, Alex. I don't think this got very much coverage at the time. The real irony here is that rather than indicting, or I should say, rather than impeaching Bill Clinton for dallying with Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office, he should have been impeached and convicted, and then I think subsequently charged with treason for these two transactions. In essence, he ignored U.S. law to trade high-level technology to the Russians. But even more egregious, he essentially took $300,000 in illegal Chinese campaign contributions, passed through Johnny Chung in return for a three-party transaction in which he sold the actual technology that targets our missiles, the accuracy of our missiles to the Chinese government. By any other name, this is treason. Now, it's a long piece, and 2,500 words. It's why I was happy to give it to InfoWars, because I think it needs the public exposure. I intend to come back and recycle this yet again, because I'm afraid we get kind of wiped out by the FBI news today.
Sure, let me ask you this question, because it all fits together. It's all in the same soup. Why does, I know there's different power structures and things, but why do the elite allow the Clintons to do things nobody else can do? I mean, the nuclear reactors to North Korea that are used to build A-bombs when they could have given them reactors that don't do that? I mean, beyond the Clintons, who do you think they really represent? Because a lot of smart money says it's mainly the communist Chinese, a little bit of Saudi Arabia, as a second player. But, I mean, it's just, why do they work against the U.S. interests so much? Why are they out to get us? It's the bitter Klinger comments. I mean, why? They already run the country. Why are they out to get us?
I don't think they have any loyalty to anyone. I don't think they're loyal to the Chinese, nor are they loyal to the United States. They are all about the money. They're all about the acquisition of wealth and power. So in truth, they will do anything for cash. That is the epic story of the Clinton Foundation, which is not a charitable organization, but a slush fund for grifters, which is,
Sure. So why do our elites allow them to operate like this?
The mainstream media does not rouse the populace, and because the people don't know, therefore there's no pressure on our institutions to bring them to justice. The story of the treasonous activities in both regard to the Russians and the Chinese, and as you point out, the North Koreans, has never gotten the kind of media coverage that it would require to rouse the people. I firmly believe if people knew about these things, they would be angry and they would act. That's the strength of InfoWars and Breitbart and Daily Caller and all the other important alternative media that did not exist in the 80s when the Clintons perpetrated these crimes the first time. So, you know, the Clintons' response to all of this is, well, that's old news. You know what? No news is old if nobody heard it the first time. To them, it's new news. And
well, let me tell you, ICBMs that can destroy our whole country and world that our crazy elite, the Clintons, gave to them, that is big news that they're going to be back in, and they've helped fund ISIS, Al-Qaeda. These people are pure evil. What is on your radar? Because I've got a bunch of questions. I want to talk about how Trump's doing, where this is going, what other attacks you expect, the polling numbers. There's a lot to cover in limited time here. But what else do you want to get out there to the audience, Roger?
Well, I do. We have a big victory today, as you announced at the beginning. We have finally prevailed over the city of Cleveland. We have our permits after going to court and being represented by the liberal ACLU to do so. We have knocked down their restrictions on free speech. We don't need to bring the duct tape to Cleveland and put it over our mouths to demonstrate the outrageousness of their anti-free speech position. So the rally at which you are speaking, I am speaking, many other patriots are speaking, is July 18th at 11 o'clock in the morning at the Settlers Landing Park. We now have a permit from the city of Cleveland. We are scrambling to raise the money to pay for the staging that is required by the city, the public address system we will need, the marshals, and all of the other...
How much money do you need?
We're going to have to raise at least $30,000 to pay for everything soup to nuts. As you know, we stopped our fundraising when the city stopped negotiating with us. Now we have to gin it back up.
Well, let me just say this. I've already signed a contract, and I went ahead and doubled down 2 contracts, $30,000 plus $5,000 for the banner in Cleveland, and then $30,000 plus $5,000 for the banner, because we're doing 2 banners. One's InfoWars, one is Hillary for President. We're going to mainly file the Hillary for President one, but the InfoWars is the backup one. Sometimes the banners tear after a few flights. But we're going to have planes for 4 days in the air, 2 days at each event. Hillary for President, big giant banners. That's a $70,000 investment. I'm taking all the profits from the Hillary for President shirts and putting it into that. But we need to sell the shirts. They're $19.95. We're selling them at full price, not $5.95 like we were before, $5. That's at cost. I cannot do this, folks, without your support. I've already signed the contracts, so either the money comes in or somebody gets laid off, but that's not going to happen. I know the Patriots are going to come through. Buy your Hillary for President shirts at InfoWarsStore.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. But I'm doubling down for my country, my kids, everything, Roger. I'm putting $10,000 down right now because this isn't like a political deal where it's limited, right? Because it's a free speech event. Can I give $10,000?
That is correct. There are no limitations whatsoever on what an individual can give. I've got to start hitting the phones very hard to help raise the money.
Today, want to wire whatever, $10,000 from InfoWars towards this event. And again, this gets back to Trump. He obviously, the big money's not going to come to him. He hasn't even asked for it. He's turned it down, the Adelson money, to put Gingrich on the ticket. He's a hero for that alone. Hopefully that holds. But doesn't Trump need to go ahead and put some of the big money down first? He's already put down 50-something million of his own. But should he just all in like 100 million to cause a domino effect, break the ice?
Look, he put $40 million into his race for the nomination, and that ain't chopped liver. And he certainly has the wherewithal to do what is necessary, which is why I'm not nervous. In fact, like you, I kind of like that he hasn't taken the elite money with the strings on it. The greatest single attribute that he has going into this election is his independence. The fact that he can't be bought, he can't be bullied, he can't be bossed. He answers only to the American people, and he just will never adopt the globalist agenda. So, Alex, I thank you for your generosity. I think this is going to be a great rally, But the real message for all the Trump supporters out there is show of strength. We need a show of strength. Our rally is a peaceful demonstration.
And let me be clear. Let me interrupt you, Roger, because this is so important. Folks, okay, Roger Stone works 18 hours a day. He's got a really bad cold today. He's still on air with us because he knows this is history happening. He says he's never been involved. He's been involved in like 8 different elections. He's seen nothing like this, okay? And this is history. That's why I'm all in. It's why I'm spending every amount of money comes in this year on reporters and crew. Usually I take some profit and try to put some money back. I'm everything in this year because it's my kids, it's my country, it's my future. And I know you know that. But I'm telling you, beyond sending money to help pay for this event they tried to ban 3 times, and there's been lawsuits, and we've battled them, and all the rest of it, everywhere you've got to get in the streets. Everywhere you got to run for office. Everywhere you got to call into talk radio and put up YouTubes, because we've got to get outside the Liberty box and educate all these other folks very aggressively. But please, don't thank me when you call up. I want to thank you for your support, listeners. And I want to say, get your butts to Cleveland. I don't care if it's this one rally on this morning or whatever it is. They're trying to shut our free speech down everywhere. We got to use it or lose it. This is a war, and this is a fight, okay? And so thank you for buying our products, because, listen, you're only going to see bigger results out of it. What you put in, you're going to get back very aggressively deployed. But Roger, how do folks go and give donations right now to help pay for this rally?
We'll be posting the site earlier today. If you go to ctrag.org, we'll be accepting contributions there. That's the Committee to Restore America's Greatness. And we will transfer whatever we raise to pay for this rally. That is our immediate goal. But look, I'm very excited about it. We've got an all-star lineup. I'm trying to get Ann Coulter to speak. Diamond and Silk will be there. This is going to be a great patriotic rally. And again, I stress, this is a peaceful demonstration. We know the Black Lives Matter and the Move On thugs paid for by George Soros will be there and will attempt in every possible way to incite violence so that the mainstream media can then blame that violence on Donald Trump's and his supporters. So come to Cleveland, but be prepared to turn the other cheek and show through numbers the support for Donald Trump. And
I'm going to be there, folks. Stand with us now. In closing, Hillary's a monster. She's a gangster. Nobody can complain at Trump for what he's done money-wise. He's already put in 40-something million. He's putting his life on the line. I really think this witch can't handle going up against him in debates. I think she's going to try to kill him. I mean, I look at photos of her and the way she's acting lately. She looks like a psychotic monster.
Yeah, I think she has a dual personality. I think the book by Gary Byrne, the Secret Service agent, which the Clintons are working overtime to suppress. They've been leaning on the networks. They've been leaning on the cable networks not to interview him, not to publicize.
They banned you on 3 cable networks.
Yeah, what can I say? It is outrageous that we would somehow think that what this agent who served his country has to say is somehow less important or less credible than 2 of the biggest liars in American history, Bill and Hillary Clinton. But if you listen to what Agent Byrne says, this woman is bipolar. She has 2 personalities.